Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital. Nathan steals James from Spinelli? Shocking grab. We're going to talk about how Nathan may try and take his son, James, away from Damian Spinelli, Bradford Anderson, and what could happen then. General Hospital. Nathan West's return. Reclaiming his job and his son, James West. Right now, we've got Nathan back and wanting to find a way to rebuild his entire life. He went to Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, congratulated her on being the police commissioner, and asked for his job back as a PCPD detective. Nathan said he needs to support his son, James. You can already see where Nathan's head is at. And if you believe that he cannot remember his life since his dad Caesar Faison, Anders Hove, shot him, then you know it's all innocent enough. It's understandable that Nathan would want to get to know his son, James. Nathan was shot before James was born 7 years ago, and they have just finally met. Recently, Nathan told Spinelli that he would let him take the lead with James just so the little boy has consistency in his life since Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storms, is lingering in a coma. But I suspect it won't be too long before Nathan says it's time for James to come live with him. General Hospital. Why Spinelli and Felicia Scorpio can't stop Nathan from claiming James. Nathan is the only biological parent that James has around. Of course, Spinelli has been a wonderful father figure for James, especially the last couple years while he's been around Maxie non-stop. That's all true, but the kid also seems super excited to meet his dad, Nathan, at last. Somebody that James has only known from pictures and stories up until this point. Spinelli may not like it, but I don't think he can stop Nathan from being with his biological son. He may have to get legally represented. Felicia Scorpio, Christina Wagner, might not like him getting James either. But again, since Nathan is apparently the only conscious parent that James has, it's pretty much inevitable. I'm sure Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, Spinelli, and Felicia might argue that James should remain with his siblings, Georgie Spinelli and Bailey Jones, but Nathan still may have the upper hand. Nobody has any idea where Nathan has been for the last 7 years, so they are correct to question him. However, they are also taking him at face value, where I think the viewers are not, which is smart. Plus, as is pointed out this week, James's dad looks healthy, tan, and strong. Not like somebody who has been lying in a bed comatose for 7 years. The way Nathan looks is also very suspicious, and I'm sure Spinelli and others are going to start talking about this. General Hospital. The Dark Conspiracy. Is Nathan West really Peter August or Caesar Faison? The Nathan that we knew years ago was a great guy. That's true, but I also doubt that is who we have got now. Consider this. Do you remember how Maxie wound up in that coma? It was the work of Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota. He drugged her into a coma and was saying that Maxie talked too much. Sidwell made it out like it was about deception, but I suspect there's way more to it than skin lotion and stock shares. We already know Sidwell is working with a mystery boss who also has something to do with Nathan. I think Sidwell was ordered to get Maxie out of the way, but without killing her. I think that was so Nathan could come back and claim his son, James. So, I still suspect the mystery boss could be Caesar Faison. I do wonder if that's not really Nathan and he has Peter August's, Wes Ramsey, memories implanted in his brain. General Hospital. Everyone wants James. Faison or Peter, either one, would want to get their hands on James. The fact that Nathan didn't have identification on him and was in a car crash in an unregistered vehicle, that's all dodgy. I suspect that he escaped from someone, maybe his wackadoo daddy Faison, but then when he woke up, Peter might have been back in control. They might be lobbying for control of that body. This Nathan-looking person is way too calm for these circumstances. And that's another red flag that it's not really him, and maybe Peter is controlling the body. Combine that with Britt Westbourne's, Kelly Thibault, reaction and the fact she didn't want James to meet Nathan, and it all looks really sketchy. General Hospital. Peter August's twisted connection to baby James West. In the end, as I said, I think Faison is the mystery boss, and he may have implanted Peter's memories into Nathan West's body. Caesar Faison wants access to James because that's his grandkid, and Peter has a fixation on James, too. If you remember when Maxie was pregnant with James, she thought Peter was a good guy. Back in 2018, Maxie went into labor in the car on the way home from the nurse's ball. Peter pulled the car over and hand-delivered James. Maxie gave birth right there on the side of the road with only Peter with her. Maxie finally figured out Peter was really Henrik Faison and a total psycho. So maybe Peter feels in some twisted way that James is as much his kid as he is Nathan's. General Hospital. The plausibility of mind control and motive for James. I do think the real Nathan re-emerged in his consciousness long enough to escape, but then Peter regained control, and that's who we've got, I think, now and most of the time. It makes it interesting because Nathan was talking to Anna this week, someone who Peter once loved and thought was his mother, but then who stood there and let him die. Don't tell me in the comments this can't happen. We've had a weather machine. We had Drew Kane Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, mind controlled by Helena Cassadine, Constance Towers, and then Peter and Victor Cassadine, Charles Shaughnessy, even gave it a go. Victor had that world-ending virus. Anna thought she was Peter's mom because of implanted memories. So, yeah, it could happen. The big question is why this Nathan-looking person wants to get James in his clutches. If Faison is the secret boss, he may want James so he can train him up and get him to follow in his evil footsteps. And if it's Peter, having James gives him leverage against people, someone he can hold hostage. General Hospital. Maxie Jones's return and the February sweeps 2026 prediction. Poor Maxie may wake up to what she thinks is a miracle that Nathan West's alive, and then it turns into a nightmare because Faison and Peter may also be alive in one form or another. I don't think we're going to get answers anytime soon. Kirsten Storms is not due back as Maxie on General Hospital until early 2026. We're talking another 10 to 12 weeks of this storyline before we get the full scoop. My guess is we're going to get Kirsten Storms back as February Sweeps 2026 kicks off in late January. As soon as this Nathan-looking person gets his job situation sorted, I think we can start counting the days until he makes a demand and takes James away from Spinelli. Whether he likes it or not, it'll all seem innocent enough, a father-son reunion, but I'm guessing there is a lot more to Nathan than we know, and
Poor
James
Charles
would not
has
be
seen
safe
its
fair share of custody wars, identity crises, and back-from-the-dead twists, but this latest bombshell may shake one family to its emotional core. In a shocking twist that could reshape Maxie's world forever, rumors swirl that Nathan West may return from the dead, and this time, he might not come back as the same man everyone loved. His unexpected reappearance could send shockwaves through the lives of Maxie, Spinelli, and their son, James, as questions rise. Is Nathan really back? And is he about to steal James away? The return that changes everything. 4 years, Maxie Jones has mourned Nathan, her one true love, the man who balanced her chaos and brought light to her life. His death left a hole she's never quite filled, despite her best efforts with Spinelli and her chaotic romantic history. But in true General Hospital fashion, the past refuses to stay buried. A mysterious man has been spotted around Port Charles, a man who looks eerily like Nathan West. At first, Maxie brushes it off as wishful thinking, even delusion. But when she hears a familiar voice at the Metro Court bar say her name in exactly Nathan's tone, she freezes. Could it be? Maxie turns, heart pounding, and there he is. Nathan. Same piercing eyes. Same smile. Same everything. But something about him feels off. He's colder. More distant. His memories seem fragmented, like he's recalling a life that isn't entirely his. And when he mentions James, there's an edge of obsession in his voice that chills Maxie to her core. Spinelli feels the threat. Spinelli has always been Maxie's loyal friend and co-parent. His love for her runs deep, but he's learned, mostly, to accept the boundaries of their complicated dynamic. He adores James, cherishes their quirky family unit, and has worked hard to build stability for Maxie and their son. But Nathan's sudden return throws all that peace into chaos. From the moment Nathan appears, Spinelli senses something's wrong. His instincts, his jackal radar, as Maxie calls it, go on high alert. He doesn't trust Nathan's mannerisms, his story, or the eerie gaps in his memory. Even worse, James immediately takes to Dad Nathan, thrilled to see the man he's only known from pictures. Spinelli, trying to protect his son, starts digging. He pulls medical records, security footage, anything he can to confirm Nathan's identity. And what he finds could blow the whole thing apart. A sinister twist. Is Nathan really Nathan? GH sources hint that this Nathan may not be Nathan at all, but possibly a brainwashed lookalike or clone tied to the mysterious Sidwell Lab storyline. For months, there have been murmurs about unethical memory experiments, creating replicas of people long thought dead. Could Nathan be one of their test subjects? If that's true, Then the man holding Maxie's hand and calling James, my boy, may not even realize he's an imposter. Worse yet, someone could be using him to infiltrate Port Charles and tear Maxie's family apart from within. Fans know this wouldn't be the first time a loved one returned under questionable circumstances. From Jason's twin saga to Drew's brainwashing, Port Charles has practically written the book on mistaken identity. But this time, the emotional stakes are sky high, because Maxie might have to face losing Nathan all over again. Maxie's torn heart. Emotionally, Maxie's a wreck. She spent years trying to heal, to move forward, to accept Spinelli as her family anchor. Now, with Nathan back, every emotion she buried comes roaring to the surface. She wants to believe it's him, wants to let him back into her life, but every instinct screams that something's off. His memories of James's birth are fuzzy. He can't recall their wedding vows word for word. And when she brings up Lulu, his sister, he changes the subject. Still, the way he holds her hand, the way he smiles at James, it's so Nathan. Maybe love is stronger than death, she whispers one night, tears streaking her face as Nathan watches her from the doorway. But is she seeing love? Or manipulation? The custody bombshell. Just when Maxie starts to cautiously accept Nathan's return, the unthinkable happens. Nathan, perhaps pushed by unseen forces, hires a lawyer and files for sole custody of James. Spinelli is blindsided. James is my son, Nathan tells him coldly. You've had your time. I'm taking him home. Maxie's world implodes. The court case becomes the talk of Port Charles. Carly takes Maxie's side, warning her that Nathan's story doesn't add up. Dante and Sam begin investigating how Nathan returned, unearthing a tangled trail that leads straight to the remnants of Sidwell Labs, where subjects were reportedly revived through neurological reprogramming. As the courtroom showdown looms, Maxie faces an impossible choice. Stand by the man who might not be her real husband, or fight him to protect her child.